Female leadership. It sounds so nice, but what does it even mean, right? It's not just a title. It's a decision you get to make every single day. And last week, I got to live that on steroids. From an acquaintance that made a comment that really made me think, if I don't say something about this, I'm going to cross over my own value. And so I did. I said something about that. And it wasn't about, proving my own point or correcting her. It was more about speaking up. And for me, that was a very important thing to do. And not caring so much about how she would perceive that feedback, because it was just so important for me to speak up. Or the other day on Saturday when I went dancing with friends, I just wanted to dance. I wasn't really social. I was actually pretty tired after a very busy, long week. And the reason why I ended up going was because that's exactly what I needed, some time with my beautiful friends and dancing. And so when a guy approached me and started talking, somewhere along the way, I was like, I don't feel like talking to you. And I really just want to go up and go back and dance. And so I excused myself. I just said, "Hey, I love this song. I'm going to go upstairs and I'm gonna continue dancing and feel free to join if you want." And I just left him there. And again, not caring how he would perceive that. Old versions of me would never call out that woman for saying something that in my eyes was completely out of line, or for letting this guy just be stranded. No, I would have that conversation and would make him feel good about himself. No, I don't feel like it. But maybe the most important thing was how I drew a line for myself too. Last week, a lot of stuff happened that, at first I was like, okay, it's fine. Like my son's dad got sick. Um, I had the little one full time. Then he got a little bit sick. Then I got my period, so I was a bit lower on energy. Then I had a lot of issues with technical stuff. So I couldn't do 2 episodes in a row. I made them, but I couldn't publish them. So long story short, for me, it was just a sign of, okay, let's slow down. Let's just take a step back. It's always in the chaos when things don't go smooth, but that you receive the feedback that you need so that you can build further. And I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm always very passionate about things that I do. And the thing about that is that you can go overboard. So lately, I noticed that at night I would still log in and, make some edits. That's not how I started this. How I started this was, okay, I make a video. I don't even edit. I'm just going to publish it. I didn't even add a thumbnail. And that was really fast. But I also had something in my mind, and that is I always want to improve. And so I started that way, but then later I started to improve by, making thumbnails, really thinking about a hook. I wanted to add videos and pictures whenever I share something and I'm referring to something. So long story short, it became a whole production. And because everything kind of stacked up, went wrong, I had to pause. And it really allowed me to see it. But the beautiful thing is this. Yesterday, it was Sunday, and I paused. I went to the beach. The little one was with his dad over the weekend. And I made a B-roll. I was like, you know what? I don't know what I will do with this, but I feel intuitively that I'm just gonna create this B-roll. After that, I shut off my phone. I closed it off. It was off for many hours. I don't know how long of a nap because I don't wear a watch, so I have no idea, but I napped on the beach. And then when I woke up, I was reading this book that I got from one of my friends. I'm part of a book club. And so I was reading her book that she borrowed me, and I opened my phone eventually. I saw it was almost 5:30, and I was like, you know what? I'm pretty hungry. Let me just go and have dinner somewhere. I went there, have dinner by myself, was reading the book. I was somewhere at chapter 4 and went home. And then when I got home, I felt inspired to create a meditation. And that meditation was for myself and for you guys. It was really lived in the moment. I could see how there were all these ropes, you know, killing me softly. Killing me softly. Anyway, it was killing me softly. And guess what? Those ropes was nothing external. It seems external. Yeah, technical issues or plans falling through, or extra pressure, um, yada yada yada. But a lot of it was me too. There's always stuff to do. But what I did a lot of times is I would just do it then afterwards. Oh, I can do that when the little one's asleep. Oh, but then you don't really get the rest that you need. And so it reminded me of that. It's like, hey, you're driven. That's good. And let's take a step back, because I tend to be an overachiever, which is not bad, but it really depends on what's the energy that you do it on. And so that female leadership is not just for the good girl that stopped being the good girl and express herself externally to the world. It's also for the girl boss, Miss Independent. Hey, take it easier. Take a step back. Do it slowly. And the beautiful thing, what happened because of that, is because I slowed down, not only did I create, I think, a masterpiece of a beautiful meditation, because it was so pure, meaning I had to go through it myself. I saw my own ropes, and it was my true story of how I'm guiding out people to let go of their ropes, let those ropes breathe, and they suddenly lose the grip. Suddenly you're just in the here and now, and suddenly you don't have to rush, and suddenly things can just come to you as well. And then you see all the things where, you're holding on to stuff, or you're not having clear enough boundaries, or you're saying yes too many times, or, your schedule. Like for me, it was my schedule. It was mostly the schedule that I was like, I need to have normal, proper work hours again, because if not, then I can just I wonder if I can go on until 10 o'clock. And it's easy for me to do that. So it's important for me to have like, hey, after 5, sluice, like it's done, something like that. But I don't really have normal work hours. I can work whenever I want. I can do whatever I want. And that freedom can be dangerous when you're very driven. Long story short, that independent woman had to take the back seat again, and female leadership had to take over. Why I'm sharing this is we talk a lot about female leadership. It's leading yourself. It's the whole movement of this show, actually. It's see who leads herself, helping women to gain back their inherited power, their sovereignty, everything. I can only preach what I live, right? And so all these things that happened this week in my life, they were all beautiful invitations of that good girl that just wants to please everybody and wants to keep the peace, versus Miss Independent that thinks that she can rule the world and yada yada yada. And both of them are extremes. Both of them are basically the same coin, just the different side of it. And both of them are in a way just still proving, still keeping themselves small, a form of survival. And with every scenario, I chose that female leadership, expressing my boundary clearly to that acquaintance. And with that guy too, it's like, dude, I just stood up. I'm like, you know what? I really want to dance. I love this song. Bye, And in that moment, I didn't really care what he thinks of that. In the past, I would take care of all those feelings of everybody, because who am I to speak up and do exactly what I want to do? And then the other side, right? Overachieving. There's always stuff to do. There's always stuff to do. And the rebellious me was like, you know what? I'm going to just shut off my phone and do nothing. And I didn't even think about what to create for that day. I was like, it will come, because I will show up. But the most important thing was I'm going to do exactly what I need, what nurtures me. And that is just to be present and to let go of everything, every role, every need, everything. And that's why this specific meditation is so important to me. It's the feeling behind it of how I created it that makes it the most magical thing. There's nothing more real than this. Creating your art, your form of expression, even in your down days, even in your moments of chill and relax, and sharing what I'm doing for myself with the world so that they can benefit from it too. I love the fact that through my own journey, I was able to create this. For me, this is art. This is the whole reason of me starting this whole creation process of, hey, I'm going to show up every day. I thought that on days like this, and I've said it before many times, I thought that on days like this, it would have been the hardest to show up. But now I'm learning because I'm just showing up. No, that is the art form. It is in the messiness. It is in the real life stuff. It is when you just want to shut off the phone and just be quiet and turn yourself off, completely, and fall asleep on the beach and hear the waves and children playing on the background. And I literally woke up from the beach thinking, oh my God, I was really out, like really out. This is exactly what I needed. And that's why I was so grateful for that little storm of all those things coming at me. And I was just handling it, like dodgeball, like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, great that I was able to handle it. And then I got an extra hit. The difference now being it only takes me a few days to really see it. Sometimes in the moment already. It doesn't have to take years for me to understand, like, oof, oof, this is not attainable, And I'm so grateful for that. So yeah, what does female leadership look like? Well, I just gave you a few examples. And to be honest, for me, it's just to lead yourself, to be truthful to your own energy, to be truthful to your own needs, and to speak that out, not just to others, but to yourself in the first place, to allow yourself to feel that, to allow yourself to move through that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow.